Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Family Relations Podcast, Episode 5.
Cinco.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Yep. I like to come in there with some Spanish sometimes.
Yeah. Do you know, can you say it in any other languages?
No.
Why do we always talk about speaking different languages on this podcast?
Well, that's 2 podcasts in a row.
Yeah, it's bad. My hormones are acting up.
I'm a growing boy. It's all right. We'll battle through it.
Yeah. I got this. I'll be fine.
Battle through adversity.
I'm going to buy my first razor today.
Ooh,
Getting some hair on my
congrats.
face. Yeah. Becoming a man.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah, it's weird, man. Is this what it's like, being a man?
Yeah, how does it feel?
I don't know. I don't know what to feel. This is a whole
Mom?
new world.
Wow.
Great start.
You're the one who has to come in with a voice crack. We're trying to stay professional. You just come in here with a voice crack?
You're the one that had to ruin my flow with Spanish.
I do Spanish at 1 in every 2 episodes.
I was on a roll. I was going,
Oh, I'm sorry.
and you're like, Cinco.
Should we take 2?
No, we can't. It's too late. It's
No, we can
recording.
just restart. Yeah, we'll keep this all in here. We'll just restart it.
All right.
All right, go.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Family Relations Podcast, Episode 5. How's everybody doing out there? How's your week going?
Great, we're doing great. Yeah.
Don't patronize me. I don't appreciate that.
No, that was the fans.
Yeah?
Mhm.
All 13 subscribers?
All 13
Some
of them.
subscribers?
Some scribe. We have some scribers.
Yeah, we don't have subscribers. We have some scribers. We have a handful of scribers.
We're trying to get many scribers, but we're just at some right now.
Right.
Right. Every time you say that, I think of, would you look at that?
Yeah.
Right. Does a stupid head bob.
Yeah.
It was a hand on his hip. Right.
Right. He's dressed like he's wearing his
The white
t-shirts
pants.
tucked in.
Yeah, to the white pants.
Yeah. Right.
He's like, would you look at this? Look at that.
Just look at it. Just look at it.
What a great.
I don't think anybody knows what we're talking
Everybody knows that video.
about.
And if you don't, get out of here.
Yeah. Don't
If you're one of the
listen.
13 and you don't know that video, get out.
Unsubscribe.
This is not
No,
for you.
don't unsubscribe.
Don't unsubscribe, but get out.
We can't afford to lose any
No,
subscribers.
but you're on a
right now.
1 podcast suspension, so get out.
How are you going to enforce that?
It's an honesty policy.
Okay. Right, because the basis of this podcast is based on honesty, right?
Right.
Gotcha.
No honesty, there's no podcast.
Right. Yeah. It's just giving yourself up,
Right.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
to the pod.
To the pod.
Give yourself up to the pod.
Give yourself
We need a name for our 13 subscribers. We need a name for them.
I don't know.
Well, okay. Let's start here. So our podcast is called the Family Relations Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be somehow tied in to like a family thing, you know?
It could be our brothers.
See, but then you're leaving out like a whole demographic. What if there's like female listeners?
Brothers and sisters.
It sounds very cultish. I like it.
There are stepchildren.
Doesn't really roll off the tongue. Hello, stepchildren.
What's up, stepchildren?
Welcome
of
to
the
the
world?
podcast.
Welcome back.
Come here. Sit
Come.
on my lap.
John Kimbo.
What was that?
That was my Arnold.
Why did you just say
Because
that?
we were just talking like Arnold.
But what did that have to do with what we were talking about?
I'm a cop, you idiot.
Oh my God.
You got it stuck in my head.
Bah!
You got it stuck in my head. I just speak what's on the brain, all right?
Okay. Oh my God.
Oh. It's turbo time.
God,
I love Arnold so much.
this episode, man.
I love him so
It's very rocky.
It's rocky, but we're rolling.
We're
Because we're
rolling.
rocking and rolling.
See, I see what you did
See
there.
what I did there?
Yep.
All right, but we kind of teased the story. Not a story. We kind of teased something we were going to talk about in the last episode.
Wait, are we moving on from what we're gonna call our?
Yeah, we don't know. They're going to give themselves
All
a
right,
name.
don't get mad at me.
No, I'm getting mad. They'll name themselves one day.
They'll name themselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, they're just our family.
Okay.
Like, we are family.
I know the song. I know it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That was beautiful,
It
by
was.
the way. I lost my train of thought.
You said they're gonna name themselves.
Yeah. So we'll let it percolate. Like it's on the pot. The pot of coffee's on, but we gotta let it percolate.
Your metaphors really make things easier to understand. I really
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that.
You're welcome.
You're a philosophical genius.
I am.
Yeah.
Some would call modern day wizard.
Yeah.
Some would, not all of them. Some people would. And by some, I mean like one or two.
What makes you a wizard, though?
My metaphors, obviously.
But wizards are known for like magic, not metaphors.
You know what? You're trying to tear me down here. We're on the line.
I'm just trying to understand.
We're on
you,
the
man.
line.
You're an enigma.
I'm an amoeba.
An enigma.
What does enigma mean?
An enigma is like something that it's like an unknown thing. Like you can't understand it. You know?
Right. You just can't understand me. I'm a wild card.
Yeah. You know who is an enigma is Jim Carrey in the Batman movie.
Oh,
You know how he had the question marks on him?
the Riddler.
Oh wait, his name was the Riddler, but the guy's name was something Enigma. His last name was Enigma, and that's why, because he was like, you couldn't put your finger on him. You know, he's mysterious.
I'm the Batman.
Where's the Joker?
Where's Rachel? Where is she? Where's the trigger?
Why is this coffee hot?
It's percolating.
I said cream.
Where is she?
Where's the Splenda?
Why couldn't they bring Arnold in the modern day Batmans? All right, everybody, chill.
I don't know, maybe because it would take everybody out of the movie if he was in the movie.
It'd be so funny.
Be like, what is he doing in this movie? Why does he have a
He's in the original.
Why does he have a regular person's name? I'm Steve Robinson. No, you're not. You're not. You're not Steve Robinson with that accent.
I'm a cop, you idiot. God. All right, we gotta get back on the rails.
I'm Ed Davids. No, you're not.
Back on the rails. Whew. All right, no more Arnold talk.
All right.
Deal?
Yeah. You started it.
I did start it. I don't know where to go from here.
There's been no rhyme or reason to this episode.
Yeah, we kind of had a rocky start, but
Yeah.
we restarted, we regrouped, and then we kind of got off the rails.
Right.
But we regrouped pretty well, if I
Yeah.
must say so.
So if we're gonna get this thing back on track, we're gonna have to go back to the previous episode real quick.
Okay.
So at the end of the previous episode, you, my partner in crime, Anthony. Oh God. All right.
I'm dying.
You brought up a fellow by the name of D.B. Cooper, who, in my head, when did he commit his crime? Was it like in the 60s, 70s?
60s, late 60s,
Okay.
early 70s.
So this feller hijacked a plane, or didn't hijack a plane. I guess we'll get into
Yeah,
that.
we'll get into that.
And he had a bunch of money. I don't know if the money was already on the plane or,
I got the whole story for you.
he had the money. But in any event, he stole a plane or didn't steal a plane, and he jumped out of it, and nobody's ever found him. There's been no trace of him.
No.
There's just been crude sketches of him, like that leprechaun that guy saw. You know what I'm talking about?
There's been so many funny sighting stories
Of
It's
leprechauns or D.B. Cooper?
D.B. Cooper, and it's so funny.
Maybe he is the
He
leprechaun.
might be.
He's
he
so
might be.
elusive. He's elusive like one. And he's got money. He's got a lot of money like a leprechaun.
Yeah.
He's got a pot of gold.
Yeah.
A metaphorical pot of gold.
Whoa, we're onto it.
Conspiracy theory. This
Man,
is
we got it.
yeah. We're official
Solved.
conspiracists. We got
Solved.
this. D.B. Cooper is the leprechaun.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so yeah, you probably should have set this whole thing up because I don't know the whole story of D.B. Cooper. But yeah, you take over, man.
Okay, this was kind of on the eve of Thanksgiving in
1960 something.
60s or 70s. I don't really know.
Okay.
But this guy gets on a plane, and this was the time where you didn't have to show anything to get a boarding pass. You literally hand filled it out. So he filled this out. Dan Cooper is what he filled out his boarding pass as. And to be honest, his name, he never went by D.B. Cooper. D.B. Cooper is what people called him because there was this old comic that was called D.B. Cooper, and it was about a guy who like parachuted and did all this stuff. So that's how they called him that. But he never went by that. It was always Dan Cooper. And so he's in this plane, and what he does is they just talk how he ordered just some like gin on the rocks, or like it was like a whatever, just like the weirdest things, and he's just smoking his cigars on the plane, and then he gives a note to the stewardess saying that he has a bomb, and he shows her some wires allegedly, and he says that they need to land at the next stop, and he's demanding that they have X amount of dollars and X amount of parachutes waiting for him at the next stop. And when they land, all the passengers are to get off the plane. The crew stays on board, and they take back off. That's what he said they had to do, or he was going to blow them up with this bomb.
Mm-hmm.
And so they end up landing the plane, getting all his goodies. They had all his goodies. Takes back off. They're back up in the air, and he made like specific instructions for the pilot to lower, like to get the cabin at a certain pressure, to lower it to a certain height.
So he has, from what you're saying, he has aeronautical.
Yeah, there's
knowledge.
like rumors that he worked for Boeing,
Right.
because he left. He had like a clip-on tie, and he left that on the plane. So like the only evidence they ever found was there was some type of like particles on this tie, that the only people who had access to these particles were people who were working on Boeing or worked for Boeing. So that's why there's some rumors in that.
Mm-hmm.
And so he has them lower the plane down to a certain height, pressurize the cabin to a certain height, and then he like inspects all the parachutes or whatever, and then he's just, nobody even knows when he jumped, because he instructed all the rest of the crew to go to the front of the plane. So nobody knows exactly when he jumped, because they're just, obviously you're going to be scared to go back to the back of the plane,
Right.
but all they know is when they went back, he was gone.
Mm-hmm.
So then this plane lands, and he like jumps over, like on a thunderstorm day, jumps out of this plane, never to be seen again.
Mm-hmm.
With, I think at the time it was like $300,000 in cash, which was a lot of money then.
Yeah.
And he jumped out with that, never seen again. There's been bits of the money found,
Right.
but never anything else.
Yeah.
which
Didn't they
is wild.
find some of his clothing or something? Or they found something on a beach? Like a parachute or something?
I don't know. They found a bunch of money, ripped up money that obviously when the cops gave him his money, they tracked it. Not tracked, but they documented the serial numbers on these bills.
Mm-hmm.
So like on the bills that they found, they were able to match up some of the serial numbers, so they know it was D.B. Cooper money.
Where do they think he landed?
It was like, I think the plane took off from Washington, and it was like over, I don't know, I think it was like over somewhere in like Oregon.
Oh,
It's
so like the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of forests.
Yeah, it
in
was
that
forest area, thunderstorm, and he just jumped out of this thing.
and they never found him.
Yeah.
So what's the conspiracy?
Is that whether he survived or not?
What do you believe?
I think he would had to have. The amount of search parties they sent out there, if somebody didn't survive, you'd find something.
Right.
You'd at least find the parachute, even if it was miles away, because in the storm, you find a body eventually.
Mm-hmm.
You're sending out these crazy dogs, like search parties with people. You're going to find him.
Right.
If he didn't survive, even that day of, you're going to find him.
Now, since they know the guy's name, were they able to do any back?
It wasn't a real name.
Oh, okay.
It was an alias.
I probably should have figured that.
Yeah. Yeah, my name is Dan Cooper. I'm jumping out of this plane.
And stealing all his money.
Yeah.
Were they able to find anything on him, like who he was at all?
No. The thing that's crazy is that somebody who kind of matched, there's so many people that like, oh, this guy looks like, these sketches look like my uncle that disappeared around that time and we never saw him again. There's so many of those stories. There's a story of this guy who had military background who a couple months after this crime attempted the same thing but was caught.
Right.
So and was caught, or I think he either died or he was caught, so they never were able to confirm it.
Right.
Where did you do that one too? Because there were some copycats,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously you have to execute something like this perfectly, or it's not going to work.
Right.
But it's just crazy.
I mean, you could never do that today.
No,
It'd be impossible.
no, there's cameras everywhere.
I think they have got like security on the planes now, like in regular clothing.
Yeah,
I think they do
yeah,
that.
they have to at least have an air marshal on everything.
Yeah, that's what they're called, air marshals. I couldn't think of the name. I was gonna say air police.
But and the thing that's also kind of cool is that not cool. The crime itself
It's pretty cool.
is cool, and he's like, it's out of what is it called, where it's X amount of time passes where you can't be tried for it.
Statute of limitations.
Limitations?
Statute of limitations.
Right. It's like passed, and they close the case. So even if he comes forward, he can't be charged.
He's probably dead by now.
No, he'd be like, I think they did the math. He'd be, because nobody knows how old he was. So you're doing the math on what he looked like.
Well, 20. What was he? Probably 25 to 35,
Probably
something
in that
like
range,
that.
yeah.
Jumping out of airplanes, you got to be relatively young to do that. You know.
Yeah. Or just know what you're doing.
I guess. I mean, would you want to be jumping out of an airplane when you're 55?
If it's for some bones, yeah.
Your bones are going to be dust by the time you get to the ground.
Talking about the cash.
I know what you're saying.
I know. But just imagine just a backpack on your stomach, parachute on your back. We're jumping out of this thing.
Right. Yeah.
It's crazy. And there's like theories saying that with, like, it had like a drop down the back of this plane, and how he jumped out, it would have created a vacuum and just sucked him up instantly, and he would have died before he even.
He would have in the plane, right? It would
Yeah.
have sucked him back in the plane.
Yeah. And like, because when you open it, you're obviously throwing off all the pressure and everything.
Right.
So that's how they were able to. Whenever all the crew's up in front, and then all of a sudden they start getting warning signs that the back was opened or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they went to check, and he was gone.
Gotcha.
So that's how they kind of have a gauge as to when he left. But it's just a crazy story.
Isn't there a movie based on it?
I've watched so many documentaries on this thing.
What's that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio? Catch Me If You Can. That's about something else, though, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's about this.
Yeah. That's what Wolf of Wall Street's about, right?
I have never seen Wolf of Wall Street.
You haven't?
No.
Oh man,
I heard it's a stupid movie.
It's not stupid.
It's not. Is that the Steve Madden?
Steve Madden. Steve. I love that movie so much. I was looking for it the other day on all the streaming services, and they didn't have it on any of them.
God.
I'm like, I want to watch this movie right now, because I forgot how I was listening to something or reading something about the real Jordan Belfort. Oh, yeah, it was a YouTube video about the differences between the real Jordan Belfort and in the movie Wolf of Wall Street. Do you know the basic premise of the movie?
Not really.
So there was this guy, Jordan Belfort, in the late 80s to early 90s who was a broker on Wall Street, and he ended up leaving Wall Street on Black Monday, which was like this infamous crash of the stock market dropped like 500 points or something like that, and a bunch of people lost their jobs. So he got off Wall Street and started trying to sell penny stocks to people, and he became really successful at it. So penny stocks are just like crappy stocks of little companies like that are so inexpensive, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So he got real successful at selling, BS stocks to people that he opened up his own brokerage. I forgot what it was called, but he opened up his own brokerage, and he basically ripped off a ton of people by luring them in with like the big stocks, like your Apples, your Microsofts, like luring them in, like making them a little bit of money on those stocks. Mm-hmm. And then he would have all his guys, all the people that worked for him, call his clients and be like, hey, we made you some money here at Microsoft and Apple. You should buy this stock of this up and coming company. And they would keep artificially ramping up the price of these stocks by getting all these people to buy into them until it burst, because the money really wasn't there. So they made all this money off of their clients, and the FBI ended up getting involved and busting everybody. And I think he only went to jail for like 4 years, and he was like,
what?
He basically went to a country club for 4 years, and now he gives motivational speeches about making money to people. But yeah, the movie, I guess from what this YouTube video was saying, is pretty accurate. Like, there's some stuff that they took liberties with. Like, there's one scene in the movie where they invite a bunch of little people into their office, and they play a game where they throw them against a dartboard.
What?
A giant dartboard.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I guess they actually had that idea to do that, but they didn't actually do it because they didn't want to get sued. But they do it in the movie.
Oh my God.
So that's one of. But I guess all the other stuff, like him, there's a scene in the movie where he takes a bunch of Quaaludes, which are like a pretty popular. I guess it would be like a sleep aid back in the 80s before they stopped making it because people were just using it to get high.
Mm-hmm.
And he took a bunch of, Jordan Belfort took a bunch of Quaaludes at a country club, and his advisor was on the phone with him. And he took a bunch of them because they were old and they weren't working right away. So he took a bunch of them with him and his partner, Danny, I think his name was, played by Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
They took a bunch of them and they weren't working. So he goes to this country club to take a phone call because they know like their wires are being tapped at home and stuff. So they're doing everything outside of the house. And he's talking to his advisor. And in the middle of talking to his advisor, he starts slurring his words and he starts losing control of his body. And he's like, earlier in the movie, he's talking about how there's like multiple phases of taking Quaaludes. Like there's like a first stage where you feel sleepy. There's like a second stage where, you know, you start feeling it or whatever. He's like, that night I learned there was another stage of Quaaludes, the cerebral palsy phase.
Oh my God.
So he loses control of his entire body, and he had driven a white Lamborghini that he owned to the country club that he was at. But I guess that actually happened, but instead of him driving a white Lamborghini, he had like a Mercedes. So there's like little differences like that.
Oh
but
my God.
but that movie, I guess, is pretty accurate for the most part. There's just like little things that they changed about it. But you should watch it.
The only scene I've ever seen from it,
Steve, man.
not that. I just know people say that, so that's how I know that. But my brother sat me down one time. He's like, "I gotta show you, dude, a sweet motivational video."
Oh.
And he shows,
I'm not fucking leaving.
yeah, he like shows me this speech from the movie. The whole time I was just like, "What am I like?" Because it's not like a legitimate motivational thing. It's just kind of like if you know the movie, it's cool.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't know. I had no knowledge of the movie. Still really don't. And watch this thing, and after like at least 5 minutes, I was like, "What did I just watch?" And he's just like yelling at a group of people. That's all it is.
Yeah.
In the office. That's all I know.
Leonardo DiCaprio probably should have won an Oscar for that performance instead of The Revenant. It was a way stronger performance.
I'm not a big Leo guy.
What?
I'm not a big Leo.
You're a
guy.
big Zac Efron fan, but not a
No,
big
no,
Leo fan?
I'm a fan of not okay.
You said you were a big fan.
I'm a big fan of Zac Efron,
Yeah, you
but
are.
like Leo, there's not. Don't really like Leo.
Who do you think's better at acting, Zac Efron or Leo?
Oh, it's definitely Leo.
Okay, I'm glad
But,
you could at least be
yes, I can say that.
objective about it.
I'm just saying I'm not just not a fan. I watch Leo stuff. Just like if I got the choice, I wouldn't prefer
So
it.
he's never had a performance where you've been like, yeah, he nailed it.
Blood Diamond. Not kidding you. That's a great movie.
I've seen it, but I don't even remember.
It's
It
a great
doesn't
movie.
doesn't stand out to me as one of his
It
best
just-
performances.
To me, a lot of the movies that are like based off true stories or stuff like that,
Mhm.
they like stick out to me, and they're like, especially when there's about such a serious matter like that.
Yeah.
So like that's why that one sticks out to me. Obviously, the Titanic, one of his biggest roles.
Yeah.
But I can't even. I don't even remember the Titanic. That's how long ago it's been.
I don't even think I've seen it beginning to end.
Yeah, I don't think I have either.
I remember at our cousin's house when they had a VHS, they had the
my.
movie on VHS, and it's like in 3 different cases, like videos you have to swap out
Oh my
because
God.
the movie's so long.
Jeez.
Yeah, and just seeing that, I'm like, why would I want to watch that movie? You know, like why would I want to change these VHSs out?
Mm-hmm.
Like I just want to put it on. I'm too lazy.
Oh
It
my
sounds
God.
like work. This movie sounds like work to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know though. I'm not saying he's a bad actor. He's a good actor. He's a great actor. He's
Mhm.
just not. I'm just not a fan of him.
Did you see Django?
Django.
Django Unchained?
No, he's in there.
Yeah.
No, I never.
He
did.
plays Monsieur Candy.
No, I've never seen that.
Monsieur Candy.
Isn't Jamie Foxx in that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's Django.
I love Jamie Foxx. He's so funny.
He's good in that movie. And Leo's good in that movie
He's
too.
like surprisingly a good actor. You wouldn't think Jamie
Foxx?
Foxx. You'd be like, no, this dude's weird.
I
He's
know
good.
I know a lot of people are right up the middle on Jamie Foxx.
He's-
Some really like his acting, some think he's like very corny when he acts, you
Yeah.
know.
I like the actors who just like, especially like the funny guys who can like play a serious role.
Well, that was Jamie Foxx before he was an actor. He was on
Wasn't he a singer at one point?
Yeah. Well, I think he was a comedian because
Well, he went comedian, singing, acting.
yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
He was the Childish Gambino before Childish Gambino.
That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah, and I heard this somewhere, but his name is Jamie Foxx because he wanted to use a different name, like a girl's name, so he could get booked for things or something like that. So
Wait,
he
that's
used,
not his name?
no, it has 2 X's in Fox.
What's his name?
I don't know.
Keep talking.
It's probably Clarence Berger.
Wait, how did you know? I'm just kidding.
But yeah, that's not his real name. It says his last name is Foxx.
I didn't.
It's got like an AIM screen
I don't
name.
ask questions.
Come on, man.
Oh my God.
What?
What do you think his real name is?
I told you, Clarence Berger.
No, but you're not far off. No, you're not even close. It's Eric Marlon Bishop.
Wow, that's a pretty cool name.
Go by that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, Eric Bishop. That sounds like a Hollywood name.
Oh my God. It's just pulling up all these names that are just people are just weirdos.
Like, I mean, is Dwayne Johnson, is that his real name?
Yeah.
Is it?
Tom Cruise's middle name is Cruise.
What's his last name?
Mapother.
Excuse me?
Mapother.
Let me see.
The fourth.
That's
Thomas Cruise Mapother the
that's
fourth.
That's a terrible last name.
Yeah, Tom Cruise is an actor name.
Yeah, that flows.
Thomas Cruise.
Yeah. Just cruises. So cool.
You know,
What about Brad Pitt? That can't be his real name.
it has to be. That's so generic.
I mean, it's weird. Brad Pitt.
Real name. Let's see. I think it's going to be Brad Pitt. I
Let's
think
see.
you're wrong on this one.
Let's see.
I got no connection down here in the dungeon.
Yeah. Just so you guys know, we do this podcast in my basement. So that's why you kind of hear footsteps sometimes, and
Or weird
if you
noises.
hear whispers, it's definitely because it's haunted down here.
His middle name is Bradley.
His middle name is Bradley. What's his first name?
William.
William.
William Bradley Pitt.
Wow.
Wow. Who
Wow.
am I? Wow.
What's his name? That can't be his real name.
Wow.
Wow.
I hate his stupid crooked nose so much.
That's what makes him though. That's his signature thing.
Owen Cunningham Wilson.
Cunningham.
Wow.
Wow. And his name was Cunningham.
You have all this money, you can't go get a nose job?
You don't get it. That's what makes him.
No, he's
Owen
funny
Wilson.
without the nose.
But that's his thing.
Want to know a very
Just like
underrated movie with
just
him?
like you with your beard. That was you, and now you're not you anymore.
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying.
You is you. That's an Arnold quote.
Oh, okay.
But I broke it. No more Arnold.
yeah.
A great underrated movie with Owen Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
The Internship.
I saw that movie with you at the movie
That
theater.
is a great underrated
Do you
movie.
remember?
Yeah.
We saw it together.
That was when we used to go like weekly to see movies.
Yeah. Why did we do that again?
Because we're weirdos. And we'd stash candy in our pants.
Of course.
Yeah.
I was gonna pay $10 for.
We'd walk in there jingling with just boxes of Mike and Ike's in our pants.
Yeah. Yeah. Take your $10 Mike and Ike's and stick them up your keister. That's what I say.
I mean, it helped that Walgreens right across the street,
Yeah.
their business is booming.
Thanks to us.
Thanks to us.
Yeah. The
And
movie theater
people like
probably
us.
doesn't like them.
No,
Doesn't like that Walgreens.
no way. But, yeah, no, him and Vince Vaughn, that duo is so good.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. In that movie,
How many movies have they been in together?
I think it's just that one and what is
Wedding
it?
Crashers?
Wedding Crashers. I don't know if they've been in anything else together,
Yeah.
but that duo is so good. Vince Vaughn is great.
Yeah.
He is so funny.
I think he's from
Chicago.
right?
Yeah.
He's a big Blackhawks fan.
Mm-hmm. Must be a Chicago thing.
It's a Chicago thing.
Yeah.
You can understand it. It's
Right,
like,
right.
you gotta be from here to really get it.
Right, and if you get it, you just like look at us and you're just like, wow.
Wow. You don't really talk about it. You just look at each other and go, wow.
Yeah, you just look at it and go, right.
Right. Wow. Right. Right.
Right. You gotta get the head bob. If you don't do the head bob, it's not it.
Right.
Right. It's really like the fake hair is the best because it's just like poofing around as he's nodding his head. Right.
Once again, nobody knows what I'm
People
talking
know
about.
that video.
They don't.
Again, if you don't know that video, You need to go look at it.
We need to get the visual part of this podcast going for sure.
Oh, then we just embarrass ourselves?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we got to put these mics on the same side.
We're doing ski mask Saturdays,
Schwarzenegger Saturdays,
Sundays.
Sundays.
Yeah.
What did we just talk about?
We were doing like baby voices too.
Oh, yeah. That could be like early morning cartoons with the kids, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do a podcast for the children.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
That sounds like Michael Jackson.
Welcome to Family Relations.
I'm
Hi.
uncomfortable.
You're uncomfortable? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll talk to people on Xbox with that voice.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
How does that turn out?
They all think I'm little.
You are little. You're
Like a
5'3".
Again with the short jokes. I'm not 5'3". I'm not 5'3". I can promise you that.
How tall are you?
5'6"
I'm sorry.
and a quarter.
I'm sorry.
And I know that's still short.
I was only 3 inches off.
Yeah, I can't help my height, all right?
I get it, dude.
The things I can't help, size of my nose, my height, and my name. Sorry.
I was on Tinder one time talking to a girl.
Boy.
I was on Tinder talking to a girl, and we were really hitting off, having a good conversation. And then it came to a part where she was like, "Hey, how tall are you?" And I was like, "Oh, 5'9". She unfollowed me immediately, or unmatched me immediately afterwards. I'm like, wow.
What?
Yeah, she was gone.
People are shallow.
Yeah, whatever, bro. I don't care.
For a height.
For my height, whatever.
Sorry, I'm not gargantuan.
Yeah,
Is that right? Is that the right word?
yeah, gargantuan.
Gargantuan.
You just kind of said it.
Gargantuan.
You said it like an uneducated person.
I'm not really educated. I've been to school once.
Just once.
Or twice.
Well, Anthony,
Well, Tano.
we are at 32 minutes and
We just keep
24,
we keep giving them
25,
free time.
26, 27, 28, 29, 30 seconds.
Okay. This
Um,
free time we're giving them has got to come to a stop.
It does. We got to get those sub counts up.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys want free content like this, you got to work for it.
Yeah, we need business to be booming. You know?
Right. Yeah. I'm trying to quit my job next week.
Next week,
Yeah, I'm trying to do this full time.
I would keep your job. Keep your job.
Are you sure?
We're not there yet.
Bro, I feel it. I feel it in my heart.
I feel it in my plums.
Excuse me?
Have you ever seen Eastbound and Down?
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
I was watching this randomly. I watched this outtakes, and it was like a Will Ferrell. He's just like improving, and he's just like, I can feel it in my plums.
It sounds like something Will Ferrell
And the
would say.
guy just loses it. It's just so funny because they just keep laughing. And like in some of the outtakes, Will Ferrell, you can hear him mumble. He's like, I swear to God, you better not laugh. Just like mumbles to him. And the guy's just dying the whole time. It's so funny.
I got to check that show out.
Yeah, it's funny.
Danny McBride, I heard, is pretty funny.
Yeah. That's a great cast.
Yeah. Stacked. Stacked.
Stack that cheese. Something, something, something. Stack that cheese. It's a song.
Okay.
Hip Hop Saved My Life.
Did it, or is that the name
That's
of
the
the
name of the song.
Okay.
By Lupe Fiasco from Chicago.
Wow. Another Chicago
Another
reference.
Chicago, what up?
What else? 630 312.
Welcome to
What's
Chi-Town.
up?
You're in the mix.
Yeah. Gangster, Southside.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
High crime rate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go Cubs.
Go
Sox.
Sox.
Bears.
Yeah.
Bulls. Blackhawks. Yeah.
Yeah. Chicago Wolves, minor
Yeah.
league team.
Wolves. They're in the playoffs. Yeah.
All right, guys.
We're on a roll with the starts and finishes.
Yeah.
We really got to clean it up.
Yeah, we do. This is horrendous.
Apologies, guys. We'll clean it up.
We'll clean it up for